In this unit, we're talking about education and its environment. And here, I want you to think about institutionalism. This is a concept you probably learned about in an Introduction to Sociology course. But basically, institutionalism is the concept that all of society operates on the interdependence of the social institutions that make it up. And all individuals who make up those institutions affect the institutions and are affected by them. Now, I'm not talking about brick and mortar institutions like schools and libraries or even jails. Here, we're talking about social institutions, those institutions that make up the foundation of society, such as education, but also religion, family, the economic system, the political system, and so on. Each of these affects education and is affected by education. So there's a symbiotic relationship there, as the book puts it. Each institution relies on all the others to survive, and taken as a whole, they all make up society. So, Chapter 9 in Ballantyne and Hammock is fairly straightforward, I think, if you keep this concept of institutionalism in mind. The chapter covers how different social institutions affect education. For example, the chapter looks at the relationship between religion and education along issues like school prayer or the teaching of creationism in science classes. And there are some specifics there about major court cases that have influenced the path of those debates, even though the debates are still ongoing in many ways. This chapter also looks at the relationship between the economic and political systems in education. For example, there is a discussion about school funding, how schools are funded differently by local property taxes, bonds, and levies, as well as state funding and federal funding. Politics plays an important role here because different political groups place more or less emphasis on local control versus national control, depending on the perspectives of those political players. So that should be a good intro to Chapter 9. When we talk about the environment in which education operates from a sociological perspective, we're talking about the interdependence between education and other social institutions. Thanks to everybody for your hard work so far. We're heading into the home stretch here, and I'll see you online.